Hi, everyone, and welcome to our episode 11 of the Unwrapped Leader, where we get raw, real, and relevant to the new network marketing so you could be a gifted leader in your business. Today, this episode is really exciting. We have a very special guest speaker. She lives all the way on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, 6 months of the year, and in Arizona for the other 6 months. And she has grown a global business. She happens to be a global director and a top ranking leader in her company and celebrating over 24 years in the industry. She has also been the only one in her company to earn every single trip. So we think it's pretty special. She definitely is a professional network marketer. So we're really delighted to introduce to everybody Terra Larsen. I just want to tell the audience how we actually kind of came together, and it's amazing. Like, you're going on to celebrating almost 25 years in the industry. Just celebrated 24, right? 24 years in April. Wow. So this is pretty special. Like, you're going to get to have the big ass celebration of 25 years, and not just in the industry, but with one company. Like, that is amazing. That is special. That makes you so extra unique. And the best part is I actually remember you in the beginning. You were just starting out, and it's so cool because you're with Epicure and you sell the beautiful spices. And clearly I loved the spices back in the day, and I was selling candles and party light, and I was like so busy doing what I did. So me holding or hosting parties was never really an option. I'd rather just buy what I want and go and do my own parties to build my business. But I actually remember you had the sushi set, and the only way I could get the sushi set is I had to have a party. So that was it. I was hook, line, and sinkered. But the best part is you were such a fantastic distributor, and you made the experience so beautiful. And I've been able to follow your career ever since. And I think it's just been wonderful. And the reason why we wanted you to be a part of this story as a guest on our Unwrapped Leader is because we're really wanting to feature people who have made network marketing a profession. And what better person to share is yourself, Terra, being in the industry, celebrating over 25 years. And I understand you're celebrating over, and I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, but I'm going to do it anyway because people want to know, over $4 million lifetime income in the industry. That's pretty super cool. And I think that's amazing. So you got lots to say, lots to share. So we absolutely welcome you to the Unwrapped Leader Podcast, Terra. Why don't you tell us, number one, why you agreed to do this call with us, and give us a little bit about your career.
Well, thank you so much, Dracy, for your kind words. And yeah, it's fun remembering back. I forgot about that sushi set, but that's good feedback to give to the company, maybe to rewind that, bring it back. So, I got started, like I said, back 24 years ago by accident. It wasn't a choice. It was, I wanted our lemon dilly. So I decided to get started with the company so that I would be able to get that. And I didn't really hit the ground running. I was kind of just, I called myself talk to the hand marketing, because when my friends tasted stuff and they wanted to order, I'd be like, well, you call me, and stuff like that. But then what happened was I had my daughter, and that kind of prompted me to look at it from a business point of view. I have my business degree. So I was like, wait, how can I stay home? Oh, if I try to build my Epicure business, that'll allow me to stay home and be there for Asia until, maybe she went to kindergarten, was what I was thinking at the time. However, when I dedicated myself to it, like I would any other business, it just grew. And by the time she went to kindergarten, I was making a 6-figure income, and I was working 25-ish hours a week. So I'm like, I was an accountant. No one was going to pay me those kind of dollars with the kind of freedom and flexibility that I had. So I thought, well, I'll keep doing this until nobody wants to have an Epicure party, and then I'll go back to the corporate world. Anyways, here I am. Asia's now graduated from university, and I'm still going strong. So
that's amazing.
That's the story.
That's so awesome. And so help
Wow.
me understand, just help me understand a little bit. You run now a business in Canada and America. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. We launched in 2019 into the US, and we're having a fabulous time of it. It went really, really well, and really having a lot of fun introducing it to people in America. So,
Oh, that's awesome. Teisha, did you want to ask some questions?
Yeah, for sure. So I obviously you started, you said celebrating 24 years, which is incredible to have been in this business for that long. And I'm just curious because you started when everything was kind of old school. You were probably doing, I'm assuming, a lot of in-home events and a lot of in-person networking. And I feel like when I got started, it was before COVID, but I was living in the city. I didn't like city driving coming from a very small town. And so I kind of took my business online right away. So when COVID hit, I continued to thrive online. And so I just kind of want to know how you've kind of adapted to that since it started going more on or more, more online. So maybe you're doing a bit more online networking. How have you adapted to that new network marketing?
so yeah, as I was mentioning, back when I started, people didn't even want to give out their emails. They were like, it was a big secret, sacred thing.
Yeah.
So it's really, really come a long way. We've transitioned. And so I really had to, I always say leaders are constant learners. And so it was an opportunity for me to learn new skills. And also as a leader of my team, of course, the team follows the leader. So I took it as an opportunity to learn so I could also teach to my group how they could transition. And I really, it wasn't easy at first, because I'm so used to connecting to people one-on-one that it feels very odd connecting with people on the computer. So that took some getting used to. But like I say, everything's just an opportunity to learn. And what I found was through discovery, trying different platforms, trying different things, I found what worked for me online and then could also give options. But what I love about it now is we've got so many more options to offer. And it's taken our
Mhm.
business global because really I can do a virtual class for someone from Toronto sitting here in Lake Cowichan, where before that would have been a plane flight. Well, I mean, that's just, I'll be honest, we probably wouldn't have flown somewhere for a party unless it was to launch an area or that kind of thing. So, it just
Mhm.
really gets people out of their little towns, or like you said, you were in the city, not wanting to drive, and it allows you just still to reach out. So
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I totally agree with that. And so when you said you kind of like, been able to kind of get on those different platforms, like I'm just curious, like what platforms do you use today for your business that, well, maybe you were using them before, but obviously there's been so many like new added features to Facebook since, a while ago, like they've added so many things on. So what are kind of the platforms that you actually use for your business today and kind of how you've changed that?
yeah, so my gosh, of course, Zoom. I use Zoom, or like
Hmm.
Microsoft Meeting. There's lots of those type of platforms. I
Hmm.
find that you can do an almost lifelike event on those platforms. Um,
Yep. Yep.
I literally through COVID just zoomed everyone into my kitchen. So that worked for me. But of course, there's other platforms, and of course, using things like Share, so you can share to all the different
Hmm.
platforms. Facebook Lives, of course, I've did into my VIP groups for your customers. I mean, we never had those before. Your VIP group was
Really?
your telephone. You called them. Yeah,
Wow, that
me and Dracy used to do that. You would
wow,
call people. You'd make a list each night of who am I going to reach out to.
Yeah.
that's
Now, when you call
crazy.
people, they're like, "Why are you calling me?
Yeah,
You can
like, "Do you
text
need
me."
something?"
Yeah, is it an emergency? Well, it's like they want you to send a voice. I do a lot of voice
Yeah.
text now, voice messenger, and actual texts. Um,
Yeah.
we have a follow-up system. I won't mention it because it's sadly going out of business, but it was super easy, and we will find a replacement for it, but where it does your follow-up for you. So it actually tells me who to follow up with every day. And also sends thank you notes. When there's a particular product goes on sale, I can search through and it'll tell me every person that bought that product, and I can send something out to them saying, hey, it's on sale. So, there's just so many, the technology is so wonderful now. Because like I said, when we started, really, there was my Yahoo groups, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And it was not user friendly. And of course, there wasn't any way to stream, get people on meetings. You had live events, and you traveled a lot.
I love that you've actually, like, you found the way through Zoom and just different ways to actually create that in-person aspect, but using online platforms. And I was also just going to make I had a question, and for both of you, I don't remember living without Zoom. So when did Zoom become a thing? Because I don't even know the answer to that.
Well, pretty much when you started, Teisha. Like, honestly,
Okay.
you probably were born into the industry when the Zoom was pretty much born into it. There was webinars that you could do and things, but I think those were just like, we didn't implement them as a business perspective. I think when I came to Australia and I had my Canadian business, I was using that. The Skype or the Skype or the webinar kind of thing, but it still wasn't very user friendly at the time. And so it's amazing. So we got all these fantastic platforms. We also know they can be very distracting, having so many different options. So it's really, it's really a matter of finding a way to streamline and, not be distracted by all the noise that is around it. So with great opportunities comes great threats. So it's just really managing that time in there in that sense.
Yes.
So what are some things, Terra, that you found that you've struggled with in the industry, and how have you overcome them?
Well, actually, I was on a call today with a accountability group, and we were talking about the cycles in business, and how with COVID kind of going by the wayside happily, and people getting out and about more, that even to more of an extent than you normally see in the summertime, sometimes you're like, well, I need to find my team in the obits. It's July or August. And so what happens, or what's happening right now with COVID, it's even more so because people are like, we're free, let's get out. They're traveling, they're everywhere. So we were just talking about that, but how business is cyclical. So one of the leaders on the call was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just having a really down month and da-da-da-da. And I said, and this too shall pass. There's cycles in business. And I said, I've been here 24 years. I've been through this cycle, I don't know how many times, where external events cause situations in our business. So being resilient, being, just going with the flow, working with what's happening, always staying positive and finding solutions. We talked about that so much today, being solution orientated as opposed to problem orientated. So if you sit in the problem instead of jumping into solution mode, it's just you can waste a lot of time. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's really great advice, Terra. Now, something that I know that you're really great at, and I was so fascinated when you were kind of like explaining it to me, and kind of inspired me to go next level on onboarding new distributors into the business as well. So you're definitely a pioneer and a forefronter on that. So can you tell us a little bit what you do to set up a new distributor in the business as part of your onboarding program?
Yes. So one of the we have, and I'm sure every company has like a fast path or a fast start or a quick start or whatever it's called. And so really channeling them into that funnel. when I have somebody new start, I reach out to them right away. I send them a welcome email. I drop everything and give them a phone call, welcoming them to the team. I tell them how important it is that we have a one-on-one call where I'll go over, a high-level outline of things that are important to them, that'll be important to them. And then I also make sure that we get them out the door. So meaning, and that doesn't necessarily, Teisha, mean you have to go out the door, but onto the computer doing a virtual launch or out the door doing a live launch. And actually what we're finding more in the US is having people come to you. So doing a launch in your own home and being your own host until you have a host. So we're like, if you have to host 5 times in a row and keep inviting different groups of people or different friends, the important part is getting the word out. So whatever works, and a combination of all of those. They find the longer that kit sits there when it arrives, the less of the chance that person will even ever do anything. So everything has to be immediate. I tell them we'll be hand in hand. So for about the first 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say, it's like sometimes even daily. And I just say, message me, text me, whatever you prefer. I'll work with what you prefer. And then we get them to a certain point where then it'll become like once or twice a week during their fast path, which in our company is 90 days. And then I'll continue working with them if they're then going into our leader fast path type program. And so just being by their side. I mean, we're in an industry where it's all about, you started the business. What is the saying? You're not on your own. You're
in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
That's what it is. Yeah, it evaded me, but that's it. It totally is. So, just really offering that support and bringing them in as part of the family.
Family. Well, that's a really great way to share it, especially in a time, like you said, with COVID and just in life in general, people just wanting to be connected and a part of a community. And, what better community to be, and one that helps you become braver and self-development and build a business. Like, it's exciting. Yeah. That's why we're all addicted to it. Like you said, you got into the business, and then it wasn't until you had a real purpose that the business got into you. And look at you now, almost 25 years later, celebrating that.
Yeah. That's the part I love the best about this business is being able to mentor others and show them the path to whatever they want to do with their business. And not everyone has the same aspirations or goals. Sometimes they come in and they'll change, but it's like meeting them where they're at, and also, like I say, on the different platforms. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't call Teisha up. I would message her and say, hey, welcome to the team, where someone of our age, I would make sure that I phoned on the telephone. And even now, though, people are transitioning and going, they won't pick up because they're like, why is this person I don't know calling me? So
that's me.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's the random number? It's a spammer.
Right. And I also work with my leaders in my group too, because I have leaders of all ages. So I was just, oh, bless you.
Thank you.
I was just talking to a leader, and we were talking about doing a like virtual events. And she says, well, I don't want to do a big season launch event, a live one. She said, I'd like to keep that intimate and hands-on with my team. But she said, I would love to do a big, huge training. And she says, and perhaps do that as a combination event with her and I working together. And then I said, okay. I said, well, we could do live or we could do virtual. And she's like, oh yeah, no, virtual. She says, most of my team is young moms with babies. They can get on the computer. They will not be able to get to, a meeting room. So where some of my other leaders, like I just did an event with 2 of them, and it was held in their backyard. And she's like, no, live. They didn't even want a virtual component because sometimes we do hybrid as well, right? And they were like, no, they can't drive over here. We're not even recording the meeting. So it was like, it's just really different styles and different, what appeals to each age group. So.
Well, you've certainly learned to be flexible, accommodating. You're a total inspiration, Terra, for everybody. And I just absolutely admire and adore you and love watching you on Facebook. And I look forward to when coming back to Canada to have a little dance with you and sharing a nice glass of vino for sure, or celebrate with some bubbles. We appreciate you doing a review for our book and reading that. I was excited to put you on our advanced reader list. So why don't you tell us maybe what you may have appreciated or liked about the book, or what was relevant to you?
Well, I found, I've got my copy right here. I found all of the topics in there were very relevant, timeless information, however, very relevant to where we are today. And what I really like about it is that, you could do, and this is what I'm planning to do for the fall for my trainings in my, for my team meetings and things like that, is to just cover a chapter on each meeting. My content's done.
It's done.
Right here. And what I do like is that it comes from 2 different perspectives. That was brilliant of you guys to do, because, you said it's like a mentor, mentee, but it's also specific to different age groups. And, it just speaks to everybody. I think no matter where you are in your leader journey, this book is going to be absolutely a gem in your collection. So I read it already once, and then I went back through, because you'll see all the little page turns and highlights, because I always do that. I just read through once, and then I go back, and things that catch my eye, I mark. And
nice. And you like our little gift boxes with all the little quotes in there? There's about 100 of them in there.
Yes, because that gives you the, Cole's notes, the key point, right? And then this one I folded down was on mindset. So it says, love mindset, fear mindset. Love is open, focuses on growth, willingness to try new things. Fear is fixed, afraid, and not willing to try anything, makes excuses. And it was talking about the wolf story, and which wolf will win. And I won't get into the story, because if you get the book, you can read it. But when the old turkey replied, which wolf will win? The one you feed.
Yeah.
What you focus on, you get more of. What you focus on comes around, right?
Yeah.
You attract.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Love the book.
Thank you.
Thank
Our
you.
goal is just to be able to now share it with you guys, and those of you that have been in the industry, and help support, our new network marketings to become gifted leaders. So welcome to our Unwrapped Leader group. And our goal is our book 2, and our book 2 is getting your stories. So this one's called The Unwrapped Leader, but the next one is Unwrapped Leaders. And so, Terra, you definitely are one of our Unwrapped Leaders, and we can't wait to share your story on our podcast, as well as maybe in our next book as a feature author.
Awesome. I would be honored.
Well, thank you so much. Teisha, did you have anything in final closing with our gorgeous Terra?
Yeah, I have one last question to, I think, end it off. And I just have to ask, what would be your best piece of advice that you would give to new network marketers coming into the industry today?
Oh my gosh. Instant right into my mind. And I get asked this question is follow the system. Follow the system, do your training, work with your sponsor or your leader and both. And the system is in place. It's proven. We're cookie cutter businesses for a reason, because if you follow the system, you will be successful. So that's what I always tell people is, just follow the path, follow the trainings.
Absolutely. Be like a Post-it stamp. Yeah. Stick with it till the end, till it gets to the destination.
And that's what I did, because I came in and I was an accountant. I worked in a back office by myself, and I had a little staff that I looked after, but it was like, I didn't know anything about direct sales. And I thought, well, who am I to kind of just wing it? I better read the things they're sending me. And it really did help, because what I thought I should do, and then what I would read and they would say I would do, I was like, oh my gosh. And yes, it was a little out of my comfort zone, all of it, because, really, if you follow what you think you should do, usually it's I call it the chicken way, like where you go, well, I'm going to say this, but I'm not going to say that. And I don't want to bug that person. It's really just take your company information, work through your fast path or quick start or whatever your program is called, and really immerse yourself. You would in any other job you would get. You wouldn't say to your boss, let's skip the training, I'll just wing it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I always say, the resources are there. You just have to take them and run with it. Yeah. And a lot of it might be out of your comfort zone, but if they just, like you said, follow the system, that's amazing advice, honestly. So
absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on, and we appreciate having you. I'm so happy that we actually got to this is the new meeting in person sometimes nowadays. Yeah. So it was so nice getting to know you, and thank you for sharing all those amazing tips with us today.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Tara, you're amazing. Thank you. And I think the best part about this is, you were never meant to be in a back office. You were meant to be front row and center and shine like you're shining like a diamond, darling. So you truly have a diamond mind, and we're blessed to be in your presence. So thank you for the gift of sharing for us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Tara. That was such an amazing interview. And I am just so inspired now to just even have heard her story of being in the same company for over 24 years now, and just how she's been able to adapt from that old school network marketing to the new network marketing, and just hearing her tips on onboarding. It was just so amazing. So many great takeaways. So I just want to say thank you to everyone listening in, whether that's on YouTube or our podcasting platforms, for checking out our podcast. And please give this video a like. Let us know what your biggest takeaways were from Tara in the comments, and share with your teams if you heard anything today that you think could benefit their business. We appreciate you all. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not already yet, so that you always get notified when we put out a new video. And also just want to do a quick mention of last week's episode. For episode 10, we celebrated 10 episodes by answering 10 of your questions, and we still have questions coming in on our social media posts. So don't be scared. If you do have a question, put it up on there. We are going to go through all of them, and even send us a private message if you guys have any specific topics that you'd love to hear us do a podcast episode on. And last but not least, the book. Okay, we are so close. And we just gave away our first free copy last week on our live podcast that we did. And we do plan on giving away more. So please go get on the wait list if you're not already on there yet. Just visit www.theunwrappedleader.com and you'll see our pre-order waitlist form on there. You just got to fill in your name, email, and anyone on that list is going to get put into the draw for some free copies that we'll be doing in the future. So thank you again so much, guys, for watching. And we'll catch you next week on The Unwrapped Leader. Bye, guys.